javelins, freelancers, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another update from Anthem Universe. I am one of your hosts, Gaz, and today we are talking the Week 4 update. That's right, the next update for the Cataclysm is dropped or has dropped today. As we move into Week 4, there are plenty of new shiny things to explore. We've got new war chest weapons, new inscription modifiers, a gorgeous new frosty interceptor armor known as the Piercer, a challenging and collaborative 6th Cataclysm event called the Crucible of Astrid, and of course, the latest seasonal store refresh. But first, that sexy new war chest. Whilst we still have the melee war chest in play following on from the epicness of the additional support gear war chest last week, we finally have weapon war chests. Now there's a series of 9 of these new weapons that are available to you along with this update, and it's clear that by far this is the most exciting element of the back end of the Cataclysm season. We've enjoyed the armor, we've enjoyed the gear, but we've been waiting specifically for this moment, and 9 weapons are dropping across 3 categories. Of course, those categories are pulse accelerators, vault casters, and blade slingers. Now, firstly, the pulse accelerators. These use seal technology to generate destructive energy. Both the Bad Omen and the Rainmaker are energy projectile-focused weapons. The Gravedigger, however, ramps up the energy in a beam-like fashion. So if energy weapons are your thing, I think this will be an exciting moment for you, and a chance, I think, to perhaps refresh some of your approaches to the Anthem game, and in particular the weapons that we are using. Of course, the second category is the Vault Casters. Of course, these use a seal technology to focus ambient electricity. Now, they leverage electricity to either shoot at targets, they rain down electricity from the sky, or they provide a lightning circuit attack that runs from enemy to enemy. And that, of course, covers the Jarrah's Wrath, Lightning Rod, and Flash Fire. Last but certainly not least, my personal favourite is the Blade Slingers. These charge a circular projectile, by far my personal favourite. Any Gears of War fan perhaps might even enjoy from Gears 4, you might recall the blade weapon in that game. Anything blades, extra sharp crystals, these things wreak havoc on your enemies, and of course they all operate in that projectile form. You've got the Razor Wing, Riser's Ripper, and Shard Storm. Looking forward to acquiring those. Of course, remember, you can only get those inside the war chests that you will be accessing from the seasonal store. So get those crystals, get the Cataclysm runs happening so that you can get access to some of those mighty fine weapons. And let's also not forget the Piercer Interceptor armor, which is now available. The Piercer is the final piece to that 4-set Frosty Javelin armor and has been desired by many of us, including myself, in the community since its initial showing. Looking very much forward to accessing the Interceptor armor today. Lastly, the 6th of the 7 cataclysmic events, the Crucible of Astrid, is now live and jumping. Now, I must say this was somewhat of a surprise for me personally, given the typical route map for the journey to Vara. For me, the logical sequence of events after completing Castle Kelrek and Diana's Landing was always the Dark Passage flight corridor to the north, which, by the way, takes you, of course, right through the Sea of Takaro. So that was my logical conclusion for the next event, and that has not turned out to be the case in this way. It's clearly not BioWare's plan. In any event, that's okay, but we have a separate video that I've got on the Crucible of Astrid strategy, and like the Britterheim event, I need to say, they've said on all these actually that coordination is key, but it is even a greater emphasis for this event. If you are jumping into the Crucible of Astrid and you're doing that event, which obviously if you want to maximize your score and loot potential you will, you definitely need coordination. You'll be working with at least one other freelancer to get this done right, and I think it's going to take a few minutes for players. There's a few swapping in and out elements, a little bit like Britterheim, that might frustrate some of you, but hopefully with some good patience, some good pugs, some LFG love, which of course is happening right now. If you can jump into discord.anthem universe, I've set up some automated LFG elements in there. You can attach your automatic role to the LFG. You appear at the top of the list so that you're available and ready. And of course, it tags a certain LFG role that you can elect to opt into. So jump in the Discord if that is your concern. discord.anthemuniverse.com. And of course, check out the guild as well, which is Anthem Universe, for all good things meeting groups. Now, of course, our inversions this week. We've talked about the event, we've talked about the weapons and the war chests. Let's not forget about the little inversions. We have two, of course, again, called On the Edge and Soldier's Reward. On the Edge is when you're at low armor, damage dealt increases. So I guess there's a beautiful payoff routine that you've got there, as you can see. And the second is Soldier's Reward, which essentially is killing any enemy restores a small amount of shields. That's a nice little inversion I think that we can all be reasonably happy with. Now, finally, the seasonal store update is also here. As per previous weeks, we've still got the melee weapon, which is returning, but as I mentioned earlier, of course, you now have the war chest opened up with weapons, 9 in total. The second part, of course, is the piercer armor that I also mentioned, and then we have a series of wraps, graphics, decals, and of course, the emote animations. For the wraps, we've got the neon shard, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't call to me personally, but I do like the shades. There's a nice contrast with the green and the pink. It stands out at the very least. It's going to make your look stand out on the celebration screen, that's for sure. Outside of that, we've also got Gleaming Mantle and Purple Spire. So the Gleaming Mantle graphic you'll see here, a little bit more inspired. I kind of like that cool design, like a leopard line print element there for Gleaming Mantle. And of course the Purple Spire, which a similar way, just elements of dark and purple. Nothing extravagant that we haven't seen in the past, but it's a nice touch to give you that stripy look. We've also got, of course, the painted material, which is the Diamond Gemstone. Enough said. And then we've got 3 decals and the emote animations. The 3 decals you see in particular, they're actually kind of interesting. You've got the Guard Sheen, Parry Sheen, and Strike Sheen. My personal favorite is probably the Parry Sheen. Look at that thing. That looks damn cool. Imagine that on maybe a black or even make like a dark shade javelin, complement that across the chest of the armor. I think they look pretty cool. So I like these. They're quite refreshing, quite different, quite colorful. Something to look forward to as they are available. Now, freelancers, I'm probably going to leave it there. Of course, as usual, you can check us out on the Twitter sphere, which is at Anthem Universe. Jump in the Discord, like I mentioned earlier, which is discord.anthemuniverse.com. Like, follow, subscribe, do all those awesome things. Looking forward to jumping in on the 6th of 7 events this evening. See you in the LFG, see you in the Discord, and javelins, freelancers, we will see you next over the wall.